Hey everybody, this is yours truly, Bobby D, and I write down things a lot, because my brain, I forget things a lot, you know. I have problems like memory problems. I've had head injuries in the past, I used to play like football on weekends when I was a kid, with no helmets. And also I used to kickbox back in the day. I used to be in taekwondo. I used to wrestle around a lot too, and get slammed to the ground a lot by, much bigger kids in the playground. And but I had a lot of good moments too, back then. And what else? I got hit in the head by a baseball bat actually when I was in fourth grade in Little League. There was this autistic kid that he wasn't on the team, but he was like the sibling of these twin brothers that were on my team, and he used to just kind of tag along and hang around and like swing the bats and stuff. And I was in the on deck circle one game, and I guess I wasn't wearing my helmet. I didn't put it on yet, or for whatever reason, and I got clonked right on the head, and I went on and played the rest of the game too, because it was like early in the game. Things were different back then. This was way back in 1980. Because I was born in 1970, and it was the first game of the season actually, from what I remember. Surprising, I remember, right? After getting smashed in the head like that, I did go to the hospital. I remember that, they had me go to the emergency room after the game, because I sort of just kept it to myself after it happened. I guess, me being a, enthusiastic kid that, liked sports, especially baseball, guess I didn't want to miss the game, I guess, and I just waited till after the game. And they did x-rays. They didn't find any concussion, but you got to remember this was back in 1980, and technology wasn't the same back then. They couldn't really detect and pick up things as well with their machines and whatnot back then, What else has happened to me over the years? I'm trying to think. That would lead to some kind of head injury. Trying to think. I mean, I've had my street fights. My fair share of street fights over the years. But yeah, I remember this one dude back in 1987 when I was 17. He was much taller than me, and he was wearing brass knuckles too. That was his trademark. He was a really dirty fighter, and he hit me like, I don't know how many times, 5, 6, 7 times probably, but I forget if any of them were actual headshots. I think they were more like just around the face or something. Maybe he did hit me in the head, but I don't remember. I know I got him with a couple of good hooks early in the fight, but then he stumbled, and then we went into a clinch, and then he was like, I guess holding and hitting, and he had the brass knuckles, and I was wondering how's this guy hit so hard, because he wasn't really known to be a really tough dude, just a punk really that fought dirty, that was his reputation. And I really thought at the time that I was just gonna take him, and I almost did. I mean, I almost knocked the dude out after the first shot. I mean, he somehow stumbled into me, and then he was holding and hitting, and I guess he was able to recuperate. And I guess it's kind of a blur. And then my dad happened to show up because it was right in the middle of town, and I guess he knew I was going to get into a fight because I was telling him how some kid kept bullying me, kept taunting me, and I was going to go face up to him, and I guess my dad also, when he's seen him, yeah, he's seen that he had the brass knuckles on, and he called him out on it, and he was kind of surprised how much taller the dude was than me. You know, I guess I wasn't very specific when I was telling my dad how I was going to take this dude on, you know. But like, I was like 5'6" at the time, maybe 5'6" and 1/8 of an inch. And this dude was at least 5'10" or more. And I was like 125 pounds. This dude was maybe 145 to 150, I guess. But anyway, then I remember I had this fight outside a bar. This was like, I mean, I'm not even including all my kickboxing and taekwondo, you know. I don't really count that. That's like sport stuff, you know. I mean, actual street fights, yeah. I remember 2000, this dude, you know, we were just, I guess, kind of maybe taunting each other a little bit in the bar. I wasn't really meaning to taunt him, though. I was just kind of joking. We were just kind of joking back and forth, and then it kind of escalated, and then, like, he wanted to step outside the bar, so I say, yeah, whatever, you know. I wasn't really scared, you know. I wasn't really intimidated anyway. And so, yeah, you know, I was kind of playfully throwing some side kicks towards him when he was a ways away from me, because I was trying to maybe de-escalate the whole thing, trying to liven it up, but I guess he was kind of hell-bent on using his wrestling me down, so that's what he tried to do. He got me in he managed to get me in like a side headlock, you know, because he like charged in, and that's what he was able to do. You know, there was no way he was going to get me in like a rear naked choke. I was just too fleet of foot to allow that, but he did manage to get me in like a side headlock, and you could tell he was like he was trying to like choke me out and stuff, you know, trying to get me to get all dizzy or something. But I guess he got himself really winded, obviously, and I was able to I don't know how I did it. I mean, but I flipped him right over. You know, when he had me in a side headlock, I guess I just waited for him to get weak enough where he didn't have a big, really strong grip anymore. You know, it got weakened, you know, because I guess his muscles were getting tired out, and I just somehow worked my way in a certain position, and I just flipped him over really hard, and he landed right on the concrete sidewalk, whatever you want to call it, pavement, whatever. And yeah, I guess that really knocked the wind out of him, and he didn't want to anymore. You know, he was like, I'm done. You know, you got me. Yeah, I guess it knocked the wind out of him. Between him getting tired from trying to choke me out and then me flipping him really hard, I guess he just, the wind was knocked out of him. And then later that night, we were in a different bar, and I guess he was still taunting at me, and I was just trying to liven and lighten things up, but I guess he gave me like this left hook, and it didn't do nothing to me though. I just kept looking at him like I was just surprised that he would do that, you know. I didn't retaliate, but I guess maybe I would have soon, but like his friend was like holding him, like telling him, come on, you know, don't fight this dude, you know. I guess because that was his friend's ride, and he didn't want to see him get knocked out. He wouldn't have a ride home then, you know. I guess that's what he was afraid of, because he seen that the left hook that he threw at me, it didn't do nothing. You know, I just kept looking at him. You know, it didn't do nothing to me, you know. You know, but, yeah, you know. So I guess, let me see. I got to cut it. It's coming up on 10 minutes. I'll see you